individual variation, and I think you managed to create a wonderful long line from the beginning through the end. I had only one question about that, because it's quite unusual, isn't it, for Beethoven also, that you already in the first variation, the first bar has nothing to do with the theme. It has nothing to do with it melodically, it has nothing to do with it harmonically. You know, the fact that you get this change, and then you get... So I think somehow this is a sign that this first variation must be, in a way, more of a departure from the theme. That's the only, if I can make a small criticism about it, I felt it was not clear. In other words, I think a variation can be an ornament, variation can be a transformation, and variation can be a commentary. And I think this one is a commentary, because it has really nothing to do with the fact, besides the fact that it is in the same meter and that it is in the same key, it has really nothing in common. And I think if even maybe a slighter difference in tempo would not be a miss, maybe a little bit slower than the theme. Just to make clear that this is a commentary on what is coming. So that when you get to the next variation, that this is obvious, that this is a breaking down, you know, the breakdown. And I think this will give you the possibility to give this second variation maybe a more improvisational quality. In these classes, we spend a lot of time on the beginning. Maybe this is a good opportunity to spend it on the end, get to the end of the piece, and then make the circle to the beginning. So why don't you start there?
From the last variation.
Yeah. Bass and alto. I think, you know, it's not a question of changing of tempo, but it's a question of the direction of tempo. You know, there's basically three, I think there are three, that I know of, three scenarios. The tempo is absolutely steady and has a vertical weight to it. The tempo has a direction to get broader, or the tempo has a direction to get forward. I don't think there is any more. And I think you give wonderfully the feeling of the direction going forward. You're really... and I think now it must be. So that, you know, yeah, not a question of changing the tempo, but really stabilizing and changing the direction. Lighten it. No. Yes, and now the left hand. Yeah, it's, oh, sorry. You know, you lighten it wonderfully, then. You don't need quite so much there. I think just the C sharp. You don't even have to play the B. You get the same effect. Look, I don't play the B. That's all I'm doing. That's all you need, and it's plenty. I mean, of course you have to play. But if this is too loud, you take away the possibility of... In other words, what here opens has to close. Stay. That's it now. You don't need so much guitar then. That's it. Much more organic. Much more organic. Ah, bravo. That was really wonderfully managed. Jonathan, when you get to this, you know, I think that there are some moments in piano playing, in music making, where the lightness of the virtuosity is wonderful, and you get an athletic feeling, when difficult things sound very light and things. There are others where the effort is an integral part of the expression. And to me, the fact, I do it on purpose with two hands, not only because it's easier, but to make the point. You know, when you this effort, I miss the effort. You know, you have a wonderful control of your hand, and it is relatively easy for you to play that. It's harder for me because I have a smaller hand, so maybe I'm overly sensitive to that. But the effort as an integral, in the same way that there must be no effort when you play this, that it must be so absolutely controlled and self-evident, and that's part of it. If you play this with effort, you lose all the expression. By the same way, if you know, real Prometheus, really, you know, the battling with getting the sound out is an integral expression. The more, and you get that in this build-up more and more. There is no effort there. There's hardly there. Then there's still no effort. It's tension, and then this you get, because of the harmony you get. That's your first step, and a slight release, and again, and slight release, and again, and then there you get. Look where there's the whole 2/3 of the keyboard is unused. Only this extreme. And then you get, and then only this part of the keyboard. I think all these are integral parts of the expression. You play it a little bit like you have one keyboard, and I think this is in the same way that you don't play with two units, with two hands. You play either with one unit made out of the two hands, or you play with 10 units. The same thing here. Here, you should not play in a one-unit keyboard, but with 88 units, and each one striving and thriving on each other, so that you get the effort and the effort of the distance. Sometimes we forget that a big distance is in itself an expressive gesture. It's, of course, it's an expression, and you have that T, and the ninth. This must be, you know. I miss a little bit still of the effort in that. Can maybe one from there. Yes. Now, there.